one of the things that comes into mind is how do I evaluate opportunity like this? Why is this something, rather than doing a startup? Or I come from a pure tech environment. The whole SaaS industry, startup revenues is where I come from. That's the background I come from. I want to do things in my technology. In today's marketplace, is this a relevant business model? Right. So let's talk about that for a second. Amway is positioned on a social commerce platform, right? That's what we talk about. The integration of online community and e-commerce. If you look at companies like, let's say Amazon, okay, they came from a commerce world, means they figured out how to do transaction, built a community on it, right? Same thing, eBay came from a commerce world. They figured out transaction, then built a community on it, okay? Or you can flip the switch, or you can look at something like Instagram or a, whatever, okay, or a Facebook. They came from a community world. Eventually had to figure out how to monetize that community, right? So social commerce is the integration of that, right? And what creates the valuation in this industry is, like I said, I come from a SaaS industry, software as a service. That's where I grew up. That's where my background comes from. If you realize how transaction happens, right? And you got to understand there is something called a monthly recurring revenue, annual recurring revenue, how much value happens on a monthly basis versus annual basis. That's how companies are valued today, right? If I'm looking at doing a startup of my own, there is 4 major concerns I'm going to address. Number one, capital. 80% of startups don't even get to POI, proof of concept, POC stage without, because of lack of funding, right? Then there is legalities to be handled. If you start in a particular state and registering company, blah, 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 different states. If you have a e-commerce portal, does transaction in 30 states, you're liable to all 30 states of taxation and all of that. Lack of legal knowledge doesn't exempt you from law, right? Accounting is another biggest headache, and no matter what kind of business opportunity, business you operate. I don't care if it's IT consulting or a little small mom and pop, or you want to, make your own beads and sell it online. You got to have accounting software tracking your business. Otherwise, you can't take money that came from a business and go eat Taco Bell food on it. Okay, you just can't do that. Right? So accounting. All right. And then last biggest thing is, because we are on an e-commerce platform, is what we call is supply chain. If somebody in Timbuktu places an order, does the product show up in their house? Now, if you look at Amway as a platform, why is it such a viable business model, right? If you look at Amway as a platform, these things are handled, right? Every startup founder wants to spend 100% of their time in business development, growing their company, but they are not able to. Okay, they barely spend 10, 15, 20, 30% of time, because the rest of the time going in either raising capital, dealing with legalities, handling books, blah, 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 supply chain, if they did the product soap, there's a bad customer review, things like that. So what Amway gives us is a platform. They're taking care of the supply chain. We're not even liable for it. Product gets ordered. Your community is in 10 different states. Any IBO in your client on your team places an order in a different city, different state. Supply chain is handled by them. They take care of each state's sales tax and reporting of the taxes based on that zip code. They handle it on their platform. They even take care of the accounting. There's an entire software area called a virtual office, a cloud software platform Amway has, which tracks all of it for you, right? Their capital funding, it means I don't have to warehouse product for my clients' orders in my house to ship it. Okay, they can directly go to the website. Amway controls the supply chain, the inventory. They'll ship it from their warehouse. I don't need to carry the inventory at my cost, right? 100% of my time in building Amway goes in growing my company, which is called business development. In a traditional world, you call it the BD of the business, right? Business development. So if you really understand and do a deeper dive, that if you can put together an average Q12 platinum business, what we call an Amway is about 7,500 PV. If you convert that to dollars, it's about $250,000 to $300,000 revenue. Okay, at that stage, the numbers published by Amway, if you look at the brochure that Amway provides, average Q12 platinum income with the right structure Amway talks about, is about $53,000 to $58,000. That's massive return of investment. If you look at it, that's like 20, 25% profit margin that's coming to your pocket as profit for that kind of a portfolio that you're putting together on Amway's platform. Right, so that is huge, and at that point, is a basic module that you put together. Does it require learning? Absolutely. Is it going to require for you to figure things out? Absolutely. But tell me a startup where you don't have to figure things out. But on top of that, you have to figure out the capital, the warehousing, the legalities, and all of that. Right. So hope that makes sense. Okay.